All right.
Well.
Around the board member coming in.
This is important.
No.
Spencer, is it okay if we drink some of your coffee?
Absolutely, that's what Rhonda made it for.
You didn't take credit for making it.
She doesn't let me make it. Zoom is up, Jackie is on.
Just need one more this time.
Jackie Jones is a committee member. It's not on yet.
Where's Jackie?
I'm right here.
Okay, hi.
No,
We do you.
yeah, with Jackie, that's Lori.
We're all set.
So with Brianna.
Oh,
Okay.
Said someone else.
I thought I saw someone pulling in behind me, but nobody's on the door. Oh, there's Jenny, so we're gonna need to make room for Jenny. Do you want coffee, please? No, I'm good.
Do you get anyone?
Okay.
Hi.
Anyone from fire?
Not yet, I'm sorry. I will, talk to Jen today, so. Oh, let's get rid of her. I'm sorry. Yes. Well, okay. We'll make her feel long. I'm good now. So I'm good. I will. About another advice after. We're gonna get close. Kelly and I like to over here. You much money? I think she likes me. Yeah, I think so. She actually offered both of us a ride. But then John brought his car in case this goes on longer, then he can. I have to leave. It's places, it's blockers. Oh, yeah. What to do, you know, what a. So. We'll leave it in that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So wait on the fourth seat, I'm gonna get that fourth seat, so I decided to only 99 votes.
Oh.
Oh, gosh, they've been so far behind counting since the machine broke, and then they got it back up, and then they got, oh, that's in Oregon, now that they made it, I wish Shania Fagan, the Secretary of State, should change the rule that they postmark on election day. So then it takes another week for all to come in, so they're still counting ballots. So we don't know, but that fourth seat will be there. Probably another, yeah, hopefully by the end of this week. Nice.
What do we got? All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 8:30.
8:30 on the dot. We need to fix that clock.
8:30 on the dot. I've got a work order for this.
Okay.
My name is Eric Van Zant, chairman of the Traffic Safety Committee. So we'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with introductions.
Okay, I'm Clint Coleman, I'm a traffic safety member.
Vice President Tracy Hensley, I'm the liaison to this commission.
I'm Deanna Walcar, I'm vice chairperson.
AJ Miller, Candy Police Department.
Jennifer School Committee member.
Eric Van Zant here.
Spencer Pollock, Cambridge Public Works.
Kina Shem, committee member. Linda Johnson, just person.
John Charver, a resident on 10th Street.
I was like Wendy Drummer.
Connie Childers, live on 10th Street.
Okay. So we go into citizen input. We were not aware today that you, ladies and gentlemen, were showing up, or you'd be on the schedule. Did you
I'm
have,
a citizen, so I'm on the schedule.
huh?
I'm a citizen.
Citizen,
Yeah.
but, well,
I'm on the schedule.
Well, we normally get told ahead of time who's coming ahead to discuss.
Surprise.
So, yeah.
and it's fine either
Yeah.
way.
That's good to know.
Just that your
Oh, yeah.
issue would have been on the schedule.
We forgot, Jack.
It is,
It
The
is.
10th is on the schedule.
it's there.
I was trying to hear for an agenda item.
That's why we're here.
10th is on the schedule.
Okay.
I would like to agree with this improperly. I apologize.
It's okay.
Well,
Um,
this is,
This-
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
continue on. Jackie, I apologize.
Oh, hi, I'm Jackie. Sorry about my voice on the traffic commission.
All right, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever would like to talk first regarding 10th.
Actually, I'd like
May I
to-
make a suggestion?
Yeah,
They're not, the citizen input is generally reserved for non-agenda items, so they can say their piece when we get to that agenda item, it'll be much more organized. That's just my piece on how to run the meeting, but
and then we need to approve the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Did everyone see the minutes that came out? And is there any discussion on the minutes? Do we have an motion to approve?
I move that we approve the minutes of the October 9th, 2024 traffic safety meeting.
I second.
Motion and seconds on the board. Anyone opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Passed, all right, sounds like a pass. So the minutes have been passed, citizen input, we'll put it off until that subject comes up. Discussed last month's agenda, which I apologize, folks, this agenda just is mentally click with the one that I put out with Teresa. So that's why I'm having a little, like, this is like something else here. Did we have anyone, we didn't have anyone from last month. And did you put up the reader?
The reader did not go up.
Reader did not go up last month, okay. But according to Teresa, I did have discussions with her. If you look on the citizen webpage and look at the agenda, and see the packet area, you can pull that up.
I looked this morning and there wasn't one posted.
So if you look at the agenda, you'll see the agenda and then that packet right there, you click on that. You go scroll down and then you'll have all the safety readings. This month only is the month that has all 3 past readings on it, because we couldn't go back in time and put it in the month that it was supposed to be at.
I looked at
So-
the river area.
This is covering, first one was,
I believe, I don't know what order she put them on here, but the 3 that are on here are the one for the logging road, northeast 10th Avenue, and then southwest 3rd Avenue.
so the path forward will be when information camera goes up, it will be published with the, minutes, that go up on there, so everyone will be able to see the information directly from the source and interpret it as it's displayed. So that is just one side note, so look forward to a different picture next month when we go up. Utilizing media for education and traffic concerns.
I had not had a chance to get the group together, and I will be doing that. I had a really busy the last session. I will be getting the group together in the next. Well, I'll reach out to all of them this week, and then we'll set a date and move forward and report on that next month.
And that's separate from your project.
Yes,
Or part of the project.
yes,
Yes, which one?
it's part of my projects.
Part of your project, okay. So Deanna, anything other than,
We've been adding new members. We have a Facebook page that is not controlled by the city of Canby. It's something that Jackie and I are controlling on Facebook. We try to alert people about traffic issues in Canby. If there's an accident or something, try to alert people so then they're aware that, hey, 99's shut down or there's a fire someplace. Try to get it on traffic safety type page, and we're trying to get some information out there to help people because last year I saw an individual run from the bus being pulled over to drop off kids and just ran through the stop of the bus. And so trying to make things informative for people to understand, even though you're on the opposite side of the road, you still have to stop. You
You
don't just
say,
run through.
you say that's on Facebook, what's it called?
Name of the page?
Yeah, what's the name of your page?
It's traffic safety,
Can be traffic safety.
traffic safety.
Canby, okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if you ask to be on it, either Jackie or I'll.
Okay.
It's a group.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a group page. We couldn't do an individual type page, and we try to copy stuff from the police department if they have an alert out. Just trying to make the citizens,
Is it available for others to post on it? Or is it just?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, no, you can post and alert people too.
okay.
And you've also been alerting, like, when there's problems like in Wilsonville where it's shut down and
Yeah.
traffic might coming through Canby to reroute around to.
Correct.
Let
We're
people.
doing it, yeah, sorry, we're doing our best. I mean, it's just what we hear. We don't have like a direct channel to go to.
Yeah, if Jackie or I hear something, then sometimes because we see something, so we might both post, and then if I see that's already been posted, then I remove it later. But as I have time, I try to throughout the day, try to post things to alert people. Cause it helps me too when I'm driving out of town, coming home from where I work. It's like nice to know what's going on with construction.
Thank you.
all right, I appreciate the input. Speed enforcement camera progress, I made contact with the representative. He is only gonna loan us one. And we're gonna have it, I thought he said for 3 months, but I'm gonna confirm that. I still gotta get in touch with him regarding the electronics, stuff like that. One thing I noticed, I just put it out to the 5 of us members, and there were 6 of us. And Holly and Territorial was the place that it was selected to be set up at. I'm asking the group if I should open it up to everybody that's on the mailing list. Chief Tro, the fire district, other places to see if I get a bigger pool, where what goes. I see you, I know you're waiting patiently.
Well, I'm just gonna suggest that, ask Officer Miller, to, weigh in on where he thinks.
Well, he's part of the mailing list.
Okay, but he carries a lot more weight than most folks, because he sees it firsthand every day.
And
And,
Chief Tripp may read it every day.
okay,
So,
well, Officer Miller.
I think part of that would go to the previous speed studies that we've done,
Okay.
if it works, is that one.
Yeah,
Pretty much, I mean, I can say for my experience, but like when we look at the data, it really is gonna show what streets are the worst. I think one of the worst ones was Holly, between Territorial and Knightsbridge, that I've seen the data on.
correct.
and Territorial is always pretty strong data.
Correct, correct. And I'm very anticipating that it's going to be territorial. Do we want to just stick with Holly and Territorial, or do we want?
Ultimately, once it goes up and you gather the data and you see if it's a workable device, I mean, if we actually get one, it'll be over time, it'll be periodically moved around, isn't that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It is a move.
So I don't think we need to, nitpick about locations as much as just getting the approval to get it up, see if it works, and make a recommendation that we buy one.
Okay, I just want to make people
Yeah.
happy, so I can give them input,
Okay.
so. Brianna, it's nice to see you. I see that you joined.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
So that is still in the progress. We're gonna be in talks through the end of this month, possibly the first of the year, looking at, getting everything up and operational before the holidays and stuff. So, that's that is a projection that could change. Yeah, this is the one. Review the Lala Road, one of these stats. Okay. So we've already reviewed the information on that. And you folks are here for Southwest Third.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Northeast 10.
These 10. Okay, so we need to scroll.
Can we get the,
Oh, it's 10. Don't order
And
them.
can you get the speed data? Also. Actually, I got a faster.
Yeah, that's over which page. 74.
Page.
How did you, come up with the speeds on 10th?
It's just
The
a.
cameras?
so it's not a camera, it is the city purchased a small radar tracking device that goes up on either streetlights or signs or something like that. So if you see our feedback signs that tell you how fast you're going, those collect how fast somebody is driving.
Well, we don't have those.
You don't have those, and once those go up, for the most part, people will slow down, and so it doesn't give you the true speed.
So it's one of those
Right.
incognito.
It's a very incognito, the device is,
So living there, we wouldn't have seen it.
you did not see it, so it was up,
Where'd you guys put it?
I will, it was a while back, I'll see where it was.
Great pictures of Linda going 53, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it doesn't take pictures.
No pictures.
So this was put up in between Maple and Manzanita.
Really?
Okay, you know
Oh,
where you need
geez.
to put it?
No.
You need to put it down at Oak.
That way.
Yeah.
Down the hill.
Okay, well, okay,
Down.
okay.
So this was taken then when,
Okay.
the middle of that stretch.
Yeah.
So that's just where it was at.
The people have to, when they come around
Is
that corner, they
Off of
think that
Pine?
they have to punch it to get up that small incline.
Coming off of Pine.
And I'll tell you what, once they hit it in front of our house, they're just like, it's
Flying.
The lower end of 10th Street is, it's a
It's
street
worse.
problem. If people get to the top of the hill there, past Maple Street, and they see the stop sign down there, down the hill.
And they just-
their mission is to get there.
Yep.
All right, hold on, let's just do this one way at a time here. So, get the map back up, and we got the speed page, right? She wants to go to page 74.
Well, that was
That's just where it started.
for on the agenda.
For that, we don't have to. I just was given that as
So
a,
this map,
Yeah, so that's the map, and then just that average speed data at the top page. Can you do both at the same time, or?
Oh, Lord, there's 151.
yeah, the max speed was 53, I saw.
yeah, so max speed was 53 on
At 2
July
2:30 in the morning.
23rd.
Yeah, oh, 2:30 in the morning, yeah, I think I heard that.
Yeah, July.
So.
We would, we hear
Yeah,
it,
we
they
do.
go so fast, they wake us up.
Here's what I know and how this came about. I don't specifically recall, I think someone wrote into us about Northeast 10th. And
Several times.
so, okay.
Yeah.
So we put it up and got the information, but we hadn't heard from anybody. So let's just take it one person at a time and let us know your name, your address, and your concern. And just to let you know, at this meeting, all we do is hear your concerns. We don't interact with you unless we have a specific question or something.
Okay. My name is Connie Childers. I live at 1012 Northeast 10th Avenue. My concern is in our little area right there, the way the
Which is
cars,
right there.
yeah, where the cars come around the corner, which is, let's see,
Awful Pine.
Off of Pine,
yeah, this is our house right there.
and we live across the street,
And they're across
and
the
she
street.
lives right next door.
Yeah, this is my house right here. This is my property. Every one of those homes.
So we're all right there.
Yeah, we're all right here. Every one of those homes have children in them. And when they come around that corner, we've had in the past, many years ago, a young kid take out the telephone pole that was right there, left his bumper and stuff behind because he came around the corner so fast. And as a matter of fact, you probably knew him too, Luke. You guys went to school with him. But with all of those in there, the people, they punch it to get up the hill. And not only is the noise, but just the factor of as busy as that is going up to Maple Street Park and children going back and forth.
A lot of walkers.
Yeah, and we don't have sidewalks on both sides. It's a dangerous thing. And if we can't get some kind of speed bumps or something in that area, this is gonna continue. And once that road's done, it's gonna be worse unless there's a speed bump through that area someplace. And it doesn't have to be big, it just has to slow them down. Because the police can't slow them down because they can't be everywhere. They just can't.
Well, if they see them, they just slow down anyway.
Yeah. But something's gotta be done before a child is killed, or one of us old people going across to get our mail. So, but that's my biggest concern right there.
Yeah, that's my concern too, is the speed. I drive on 10th Street the whole length of it daily,
Yeah.
several times a day. And I have found more people going faster between North Oak Street and Pine Street
Mhm.
than anywhere else on the whole rest of 10th, because it's that little hill.
And you have people on your bumper as you're
Yeah.
coming down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because they're
And they'll
just
pass us,
coming
if
there.
we're getting ready to turn in our driveway, they will try and pass us if we're going too slow. We start slowing down, even if we turn on our blinker, because they're just impatient.
Yeah, 25 is, it's just not fast enough for them.
Yeah.
What was your name again? Sorry.
Wendy.
Wendy.
Jarman.
Thank you.
And they live right there.
I'm Wendy's husband, John, and these 10th Street, you know, on this side of town, aside from Territorial, the stretch probably from, was it Ivy to Pine, there's no stops. It's a, it's a long, straight
Straight stretch.
stretch.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Wendy said. The east or west part of 10th, up to probably just past Maple Street, people generally don't speed.
Because of the stop sign.
They just don't.
Yeah.
But once they get past Maple Street
Mhm.
and they get to the top of the hill, which is right about there.
Yeah.
They just start hauling butt down the
Yeah.
hill.
Yep.
And
And then they get down the stop sign and just blow the stop sign.
I've called, the police many times over the years, probably at least once or twice a year, and then asked them if they could send an officer down, and generally they do. But when you guys come, if you were to pull in Oak Circle and park there,
You'd be incognito
they wouldn't see you. But as it is, generally you guys park
on the street.
in front of Linda's house, which is on the north side. And as soon as they get to the top of the hill, they can see you sitting. So they don't speed. And since all the development down on Pine Street, the volume of traffic that we get on 10th Street has probably doubled.
At least,
Seriously.
yeah.
And, at the hours when people are coming home from work, and then also, especially on the weekends, there's a lot of speeding. Saturdays it's awful. When
Yeah, it's
I'm
car
out
after car after car.
getting leaves or doing yard work out in front, the cars that come down the hill, and I might be out there with my recycler picking up leaves or something, and they have no mercy. They're coming and they can see that you're, in the street, because we don't have,
No sidewalks.
And they just fly by, with impunity. And we're all very concerned because we know that the development of 10th Street is coming. It's been coming for 20 years.
30.
But
30,
we're still waiting.
Yeah,
But-
which 30 years?
There's still more area down, for development on some of those flag lots and things.
Mhm.
And the traffic's only gonna get worse. And, Territorial is the artery that takes a lot of people up, to Birch and then out towards the freeway. But a lot of people, because there's only 2 stop signs on 10th Street, they cut across
Ivy and Holly.
and come down 10th and then down Pine and get back on Territorial, depending on how much
Yeah,
traffic.
they fly
there
on
is.
time too.
So we have a lot of traffic. And the place to concentrate is with your traffic study, in my opinion, is down there.
Yeah.
Near Oak Street at the bottom of the hill where they're coming flying down the hill. Your data is probably gonna be
Oh,
higher than
yeah.
what you see where you put the camera.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, I don't know how far along the
I think
plans
a lot of
are
people
for,
slow down and turn on Maple. So the data would be skewed.
Yeah, it would be.
I don't know how far along the plans are for the final development of our street. But once we have sidewalks and it's paved from side to side, that's gonna just encourage the cars to even go faster.
Yeah.
And
The streets
we
in disarray
want
right
the
now.
street fixed. I mean, the street's in terrible condition. But we're worried that once we get new pavement and, the new project, that our street is gonna be like living on Holly Street. And I'll tell you, Holly Street's terrible. When I go up 10th and want to turn onto Holly, the cars on Holly Street, they haul butt. I'm surprised that I don't see people pull over up there a lot, because there's a lot of speeding right there. So that's why we're here, and aside from our speeding concerns, we want to know that when the plan for the development of the street goes through, that it's not gonna be a worse situation. I think that's why, I'm in agreement with Connie that a speed bump down near Oak Street
Yeah. That
would,
and even stop signs. If we could even have more stop signs coming
Flashing
down.
25, I mean, there's options,
You
but
know, something that actually makes them slow down. And if they have to slow down and pretend to stop, at least they're slowing down. I mean, we know they're not gonna stop. That's just a suggestion anymore. And, I mean, we watch it every day. I can stand at my window and watch everybody come slow and then go right around the corner. They never stop.
California stuff.
Yeah, so, but if we even had, even made like Pine a three-way stop. And I don't know how many times they've almost tore the front of my Hummer off when I pulled up there and somebody wants to cut that corner because they're coming so fast. And then they have to slam on their brakes.
Yeah,
and
that
it's like,
corner,
Yeah,
hit me,
people
hit
start
me,
turning,
hit me.
Yeah.
diving into that corner, there's
Yeah.
a big hedge there.
So there's no stop sign on Pine, it's only where 10th intersects with.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, and if there were stop signs there, and even one at the top of Oak, I don't know, anymore, I say just put a stop sign
On every street.
Yeah,
Everybody's driveway.
that way, give everybody a at
That's
least
all.
I know they're gonna be a little slower by the time they get down the hill to us.
Yeah, I think, we touched on a couple things. The length of a distance with no stop signs, it's a long ways.
Yeah,
And aside from territorial, as far as east-west, I think it's the longest street on the north side of the highway.
That goes all the way through, yeah.
So,
Okay, I'd like to speak. I'm 1030 Northeast 10. And of course, the speeding is ridiculous because I'm even closer to Pine. So when I back out of my driveway and they come zooming around the corner, I make sure my tail is in because I don't want to be nailed. So the other thing I am concerned about is the project on 10th Street. I moved in when it was at the 30-year mark. We're now at about the 55-year mark that was going to be completed. So I look forward to this because I'm getting older. And I hope that it does get finished, but I'd like to know how long it's going to take, or is it going to turn into the 99E fiasco that goes on and on and on and employs, I don't know, somebody's brother's company forever? Or exactly what is it going to involve? And there hasn't been anything. And I'd like to suggest for the slow down part, there is a place in Portland called Argyle Terrace. It's 220th off of, I don't know, it's way out toward Gresham, but it had it was very similar to ours. It was just a speedway. It was just a speedway. So I drove over there to see what they had done to slow it down. And it was very interesting because it was so different than what people expect. Like you want a speed bump, and usually they put a speed bump all the way across the street. But what they did there was, because it's a direct line from, I think, 220th to 200. Anyway, it's a really long line, like 10th Street is. They put a speed bump on one side and then a speed bump down here, so they alternated it. So you were forced to slow down, both coming and going, and you weren't kind of timing it.
You couldn't
know
drive
what I mean?
around it.
Well, no, not really.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's kind of brilliant. So I would hope that they would take that into consideration. But anyway, Argyle Terrace, 220 Southeast in Portland. And then I would like to see a little more police visibility, because we see very little. They're usually on their way to one place or another, but they're not really, you don't give the appearance, they don't have the appearance of paying attention to actually being after speeders, etc. But do you have any idea how long this project is going to take, or exactly what it's going to, I mean, you're going to have a bike lane, you're going to have all kinds of stuff. I know they've gotten the permission from different owners and so forth and so on. So I know you're working on it. Like they said, 55 years to work on one project or have it in the, I mean, Canby's grown, from, I've been here about 50 years, involved with the city about 50 years. And it would be nice to see something completed in a somewhat, a pattern that's gonna work for a length of time.
I mean, it is.
Because you're not gonna get right back.
We've got gravel.
And neighborhood, the idea of neighborhood is becoming non-existent, because we're growing.
I guess I should ask, are we still on the schedule?
Oh, there you go.
Last time that I checked,
Good answer.
there are, I believe, 5 right-of-way lots with right-of-way issues that we need before the project can go.
That's been the biggest thing.
That has been the hangup for so many years, is to try to get right-of-way so that we can put the sidewalks in.
I thought they were gonna use eminent domain and take them this time. I just signed off on my property that I didn't need to, just so you could tear my sidewalk up, which is my sidewalk.
Which
I
is
paid
brand
for
new,
it.
by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I just signed off again to make sure that
It
we're in
gets going.
compliance, so it could happen. And so I just wanna know that me signing off, actually, because I didn't need to.
Mhm.
The sidewalk's in, and it was put in code because I had the city do it. We paid for it. The city came and put our sidewalk in for us to make sure it was up to code. They would never have to touch it. But I do understand.
But now
because
you
you're
guys
gonna
wanna
do
touch it.
sewer. Yeah, you're gonna, mess with the sewer, that kind of stuff, so you're gonna have to tear it up. And depending upon from the center of the road, how much you're gonna have to take to put the sidewalks in. I understand that too. So I signed it with the understanding that this was going to really, really, really take place in spring,
believe that we are still on
for spring.
for spring. We're working with the engineer. He's finishing up the final designs for how some things have had to change. I'm supposed to be getting those plans in the next 2 to 3 weeks to review them with the city's team, to then hopefully be able to go to city council and ask them kind of what they want to do for the last of these 4 or 5 properties.
What's stopping you guys from just paving the road?
Money. If we were to just
It'd
go
be
through,
cheaper.
to go through and just pave the road without doing any of the curb and sidewalks or anything like that.
Yeah.
Does the road need to be paved?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I agree with you there.
There is a right to be paved.
I mean,
It's never been paved. I've been there
Yeah.
like 37 years. It's never been paved, even when the water pipe in the middle of the street blew up. And it was like this huge gusher coming out of there and flooded our house, flooded our yard. And they patched it and they patched the road. It still never got paved. So 10th is every time that they're there and they're doing something, I ask them, can you at least pave across the street in front of our houses that have sidewalks? Because Linda's has sidewalks, mine has sidewalks, they have curbs. They could pave so we don't have this gravel and this ruts on this, given amount on each side. And they keep telling me, no, we can't. Oh, good Lord. I get, like, on days like this, when it's so rainy out, it will flood. It comes down that lovely hill. And for shears that live in back of us, the way that their driveway is, the water comes down, because we have holding tanks, is all we have. Once the holding tanks are full, that's it.
And they do fill.
It floods our yard, goes into my backyard, floods underneath everything, it's absolutely insane. And again, I've been there 37 years, and in that 37 years, I've been in the 20-year plan ever since, saying, oh, we're gonna do that road, we're gonna do that road. I'm still waiting. I think.
The plans going forward with 10th Street, if you look at 10th, all the way from Polly down to Pine, some people have a sidewalk in front of their house, some people don't. Some people have a curb, some people don't. And the idea that there's a big holdup for finishing the street from Locust to Pine because you want to put a sidewalk on both sides and a bike lane, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't want to buy
The people on 10th Street, all they want is a curb
And
and
pavement.
pavement.
No
and adequate
gravel.
drainage to get rid of the gravel. In the summertime, when it dries up,
Oh.
we're in a dust bowl.
Yeah, it's really bad.
You know, and
Street sweepers come by and make dust.
So at this stage of the game, I'm going to, it sounds like we've transitioned from the
The
speeding
traffic, yeah.
route to
Well,
the speeding event.
it's all part and parcel though.
Yeah,
But that's not our wheelhouse.
Who's
So
doing it?
yeah.
it would be plannings.
Well, I don't think we have anything to do with roads, so that's gonna be public works in coordination with city council
Okay. So,
to approve.
Spencer just gave you the outline. We're waiting on engineering, then it'll come to the council. Then council has to decide what to do about those 4 or 5 holdouts for right away.
I have a question for Spencer.
yes,
Would it be a valuable thing if these citizens were to get a petition and go to work and try to,
You've talked about
put
that.
pressure on those 5 holdouts? In other words, if they can see who on 10th really wants this to take place, would that have value?
Not really, you guys know this.
Yeah,
You-
the city knows which properties that they are. I don't know that it's appropriate for the city to
Turn the.
turn the neighborhoods against each other kind of thing.
You know,
I mean,
on Locust Street, when you guys did Locust Street, there was obviously one person, or maybe two, that
Mhm.
kind of threw a wrench in your works there. And one of those properties, you zigzagged around.
Mhm.
And it's like with a curve, and there, you know, you didn't put a sidewalk, you just, and,
Curve, yeah.
I bet it slowed down the traffic.
you know, I think that this,
Narrow the street.
it would be in the city's interest probably to go door to door up 10th Street, up to, well, that's been years ago, because, you know, and this is the other thing
Yeah,
too,
it has been.
is that
like
when
15 years.
the road
They haven't
plan
asked
people
us in
came,
like 15 years.
they came by probably close to 15, 20 years ago by our place. And wanted easement in front.
Mhm.
And at that time, I was okay with it. But now I've got trees in front of my house that are, you know, 20 years old.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna lose them. You know, and that's why I say, if you had some continuity, yeah, if you had some continuity going up 10th with what is already there, people just want a curve.
They want a
and
curve.
They don't care about sidewalks, they don't care about bike lanes.
Sidewalks, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had expressed a concern about it dragging on forever, all the 99 starts, for what it's worth, since it would be the city of Public Works doing that project versus the state of Oregon.
So it has nothing
It
to do
should,
with traffic.
oh, I know, I'm just saying, it should be a lot better when the project ever does kick off, because the city will be managing it and not the state of Oregon with 99.
My question is, you said the holdup now is financial.
Or just going through and just doing an overlay of the street.
Okay, is there a money issue now? Because when I signed up, again, on my
It-
property, I was told, oh no, the money is there and it won't be designated for anything else
The
except.
money is there for the 10th. As
Okay.
far as which funds are available for that, just going through and overlaying 10th without doing any improvements for pedestrians is where the sidewalks come in. That changes what money is available. Does that make sense?
There's different pots of money. Capital projects is over here, paving and overlays is over here. So there's money over here waiting for that project. There's not, just transfer it.
Holdout.
Work that way.
Is
Different arch.
Different laws.
I give you an easement for a sidewalk, yes. And that's exactly my point.
It's
Don't put in a sidewalk.
and that is something that has been talked about is maybe.
If you have to find people, they'll probably say, yes, go ahead and do that. Put in a curb, just don't put in a sidewalk. They'd probably be happy to do that.
Just
Because then you're not driven, all their bushes aren't getting ripped out.
so we're gonna stop it there.
Okay.
And the answers to any of it?
Well, we want to hear your concerns is really what this was all about.
Yeah, well, you know, the people on 10th feel like they've kind of been left out of the loop as far as the development aspect goes. And the speeding stuff is
Oh,
an
it's
issue,
horrendous.
you know, but the development, they go hand in hand, because like I said earlier, once that's developed,
As soon as you fix it,
it's
it's
gonna
gonna
be
speed
worse.
to be worse.
Well, and that's something that if, when it's developed and it's worse again, then you can come back to us again for the speeding aspect of it, not the building aspect of it. So.
Just drag it out.
Well, let's just say
So
that,
what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the camera at
For that radar.
the little radar. You said what circle
Oh,
is?
oh,
At Oak Street,
if you do it on Oak Street, just,
that's right at the bottom of the hill.
Okay,
and that's
That's a
where
really
they're
tough-
like,
So-
come down.
so
Does it-
Spencer, when he has his
Does it do both
ability,
directions?
yes.
Good.
So Spencer, when he has the closest availability to do it, he'll put it up.
Okay.
It won't be announced.
Good.
It's not gonna be posted or anything like that. It'll be up for a 1 week period.
Okay,
We'll do a 2-week period
yeah, that
and
sounds better.
compare it to the data from.
Okay,
From the other side.
Yep.
Perfect.
Can, as
I like
on
that.
the, back to the development, can the city, contact the people from Locust to Pine and have a meeting about
I
the,
will talk to, my boss about
thank you.
doing some sort of community meeting.
you know, you've got 5 holdouts, but you've got all the rest of those people that are down with something.
Ready. Yeah.
You know, a meeting might be a good way to just finally get going.
So
We
we're gonna
appreciate
move on
you.
to Clinton's project.
We appreciate you guys coming, though. You're welcome to stay, but.
No, I'm ready.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, and saying, thank you, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for listening.
I do, like I said, I think if you send a letter out to the people on that section of the street, then you probably have some success.
So next time.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna reach out to them when it's time to come back.
Yeah,
Just like-
one, we'll review your concerns, the information, and if you guys wanna come back in a month, review the material or wait for when it
Okay.
comes back onto the,
Is it
to the
also
website.
published? Is it
It'll
also?
be on the
published?
website,
The website.
on the website, and you can just see the information right there and interpret it as you see
But-
fit.
Public Works is the other one.
Public Works
regarding all
Department, call Jerry Nelsey, and ask.
NELZEN.
Yeah, and he's nice, I've talked to
He's
him a
awesome,
bunch.
yeah.
You talk to everybody.
Have a good day.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you for coming with me.
Linda and John. Thank you guys.
It's spread out.
Yeah, I'll go sit with Tina. We can read a little bit. Little bit like sardines in here. Okay.
Now, when you refer to my project, what were you referring to?
You had a project last month that you wanted to do, and so
Is that the field trip?
I said
Oh,
that's
yeah.
your project.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that I was looking into and I just got to, my time got to take it away from me. So, I plan to do that this week. I plan to, reach out to the folks, regarding the media, Officer Miller and Tina and Deanna and Jackie, and schedule a meeting that, works for us to all get together and discuss the social media and best practices and different scenarios. And then, with regard to Jenny Street, you know, I don't really think, I'm happy to help you, Jenny, but I think you should be the quarterback on that one, just because, you're the one that's closest to it. And, but again, if you think the timing, because I know they've done a lot of construction on that street recently. And, you know, I think that street has a variety of problems. And so I think discussing, you know, what those problems are, and then looking at various solutions, and some of the solutions don't cost as much as others. And, you know, really trying to, kind of like the 10th, you know, they've got a variety of problems and we can't solve them all at once, but, you know, one of the things we could probably put a dent in is their speed issue. And so we need to recognize, and then like, you know, the pros and cons of making that a one-way. So I will we'll work with you. And if you think this rainy season, is this a good time to get a group out there for a field trip, or do you think we should put that off a little bit?
Well, my only,
Tabletop it like that,
pardon?
or we tabletop it like that.
Oh, look at it. Well, I think one of the things that's helpful about a field trip is, you know, when you're out on the ground and you can kind of see and anticipate, you know, where future sidewalks will be and where it would be practical to have a crosswalk and, you know, do bump outs make sense, and where do you see future development taking place? And, are people ever gonna use their garages?
Mine's got stuff in it.
Yeah. So I'll work with you on that, but those are the two things that I was working on.
I would like to reach out to the group after the meeting or whatever and see if we can find a time to just kind of get together and look at it. Even though the rainy season isn't the best time to be standing around outside, my concern with our street continues to be the volume of school kids who are on it, and then the traffic problems that potentially cause pedestrian problems. So I wouldn't mind looking at it before spring or the dry season.
And really the problem area is from South Ivy all the way over to Elm, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty bad all the way along there.
Yeah, right at the moment, it's kind of quiet because they're doing construction at the end of the street on Ivy, so nobody wants to cut down my street to run into the construction. But yeah, the long-term issues remain.
And then if I could add one more thing, I think, in Deanna's area where you got the ball fields there, I think you would be a great one because you're closest to that situation. I'm happy to work with you on that, but you know, looking at what are all the problems there? I know parking in no parking zones, and you got the sporting events, and then, you know, looking at not only all the problems, but what are the possible solutions? And I think that the school district needs to be involved in some of those solutions, because some of those solutions, they're really outside of our scope, and they're the ones that are creating a lot of the problems.
And that's Deanna's project, and so that's exactly what Deanna, I thought would be best to work with. Of course, you can make your own recommendations of who to work with, who, what, when, and why. But that, I figure, would be your project.
Okay.
Can I have one more question? This kind of relates back to 10th and it relates, so are we force fed these bike lanes? I mean, my goodness, they're going into areas that it's a hazard to the bicyclists and the pedestrians.
What I remember seeing is 10th was not getting.
Okay.
But I didn't want to say that.
Thank you.
Or anything, like I said, I haven't even seen the design and set yet. The engineer was supposedly at like a 95% design. So he's got almost everything done with just a couple of little tweaks, but I haven't even seen those plans yet. But I don't remember a bike lane going in on 10th, because I don't think that we have the width that is needed to do bike lanes, sidewalks on both sides for everything, because it would end up needing to be as wide as like Holly Street ultimately, and I don't think that we're anywhere close to be able to do that.
Okay, well, that's great news.
So, basically, underneath new business is going to be a Clinton project, Deanna project, and now a Jennifer project.
Can you maybe
And-
skip back to 5D?
Okay.
So we looked at the traffic safety reports a bit for Northeast 10th, with the group that came in.
You want to go back and look at it?
I look at third for a moment. if we-
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't see this in advance because when I looked for the agenda, the documentation, I wasn't seeing it. I would like to make a recommendation that for the speed data that we're providing in future packets, that we break up each individual site's speed data into its own PDF, So when you look in the agenda packet, you'll see, here's the agenda itself, here's the speed data for 10th, for 3rd, for Malala Road. And that way outside parties who are interested can just see the one that they need. This is like a
Well,
200 page document, this is a beast.
Yeah,
I stated that unfortunately Teresa couldn't go back in the past and add it.
so typically,
We will be able to.
there'll only be one added.
One or two, we do 2 sites, it'll be added on to that. So it's,
Really big document.
It is a very big
you
document.
know what it is, but the best part is, it's all there and they can use it for what they want to do with it. So,
And maybe like the next page after the agenda, we like make a summary page that we include, something that says, traffic data for this side is on this page, for this page. is the PDF."
so then you're volunteering to do that?
I mean, I just don't think that it's really all that awesome to be giving somebody a 200 and something page PDF to sort through.
What's it called, an education
I
at the
can-
moment?
But I mean, if Teresa's putting it together, I mean, I wouldn't
I
think
can-
that she's got the experience to put up a
I don't want to make too much work on her. This is too much work for her to begin with. This is, I don't want the information interpreted as we altered it in any way, shape, or form. This is the truth. This is what you gotta deal with. Canby's growing. Canby's gonna have 4 times the amount of traffic in Portland. This is the speed limit of it. So,
I was just thinking we could make it more user friendly.
I will see if I can try to make a separate summary document out of just the data. So, and then you can have both, all of the full 200-page raw data and then just the summary pages separate.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't mind having 350-page files for each location or something, because I don't think it's necessarily bad to give all of the background information for anybody who wants to get in.
So I think what I hear you saying is you're just wanting like an index. If you're looking for Southeast Third, it's on this page. If you're looking for Northeast 10th, it's on this page.
So either we
So
make
they can
it,
just scroll the right page and not have to scroll through everything.
exactly, so either it's an index page
Not change
after,
data or something.
after the agenda, or make each chunk of data in full made its own PDF by location, so it's just easier for people to find. Because right now, like I said, I didn't see it in advance because I was clearly doing something wrong when I was looking for it. And then the reason I was looking at my phone earlier, and I apologize for that, I was like, oh my gosh, and I was like going, like, where even is this?
Yeah.
And I as a committee member care, so I'm gonna keep looking. Other people are just gonna throw up their hands and say this isn't helping me.
Well, and if you've never looked at one of these, you may not understand, because there are multiple,
There's different graphs and stuff.
Graphs and
You
everything.
don't necessarily know what you
Yeah.
really want to look.
it took me a little bit to figure
Yeah.
out what I was reading and looking at.
Yeah, you had highlighted the information in one of them, I think it might have been 10.
the only statement I'm gonna make with this is, I do not want to put extra pressure on Spencer or Teresa to do a lot of extra work. This is, the information is right here. That's all.
Well, if the information is too hard to swallow and I need to figure out how to scale some of it back, to make it easier, that's fine.
Deanna, do you,
So do we still want to look at the Third Avenue and talk about it with Jane?
I'm sorry.
That's cool. All right, so did this end up getting put at the intersection grant? Do you know where we ended up putting it? Because of course I didn't see it.
That is the bad thing about it.
Guys, like, you guys have to-
I did want to comment on radar because, when they mentioned the Northeast 10th Avenue, radar, the technology can pick up vehicles from a long ways away if you're on a straight stretch. Like in my car, I can pick it up from pretty close to a mile away if it's on a straight stretch.
Yeah.
And so really, it doesn't matter where you put it, if it's on a straight stretch, it's gonna it can pick them up in Elementary, have it at Granite, it can, have it at Granite. So the technology is
I was just.
I just want to make the citizen happy that we put it in their area.
Yeah, no, I understand that part of it.
And if that's the portion that they're wanting to read, I can put it up somewhere else to read that area, because it reads about a block. Like, so about 300 feet is what
It
it's
can
picking
read 300 feet, but at what point does it take that snapshot? Does it take it at the fastest point? Does it take it when it hits this point distance away? Because you might see it from a mile away, but you can change your speed a lot.
So for that particular device, I do not know if it holds from where it first picks them up, where it last picks them up, or if it's throughout the center. I don't know. Well, it doesn't say anywhere in the yeah.
Location added too, because like I have been thinking, oh, it'd be great to have data of how many cars are on the street eastbound, westbound.
Yep.
Because it's a really busy street,
Yep.
way busier than Granite. I kind of wanted some numbers to put behind that, which we got.
Yes.
But in terms of speed, the people who are going to slow down in advance of an intersection
Yes.
more so than the people who are just flying through at 50 miles an hour.
I would guess to say that the radar is picking up their speed as they're moving, and it's giving you the fastest speed that car will land.
I think so.
That's what I would
I
assume.
don't know 100% to say that is what it's doing.
I bet money on that.
So as far as, unfortunately, when I made that particular one, I don't think I did it quite great. Or just for as far as where the device was.
Oh, so we did it twice. We did it in
I did do it
September.
twice. The one, it was only for like 4 days. It's, and then the battery died on it, so they recharge it.
Was it
in between.
weekdays or a weekend?
It was 9/3 through 9/8,
During the week.
So that was the Tuesday after Labor Day through Sunday.
and then the next one was 10/2 through 10/8. So the first one, your average daily trips was 870 is the average on Third going westbound. And then in October, your average for westbound traffic was 514. So that was also when 99 was, so you had about a 300 car drop within a month of opening up 99.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah. we did.
Okay.
But they had definitely reached a bit of a fever pitch with 99, and that really was like the peak recklessness.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely tracks with the experience of being right there. And then eastbound, can we see eastbound in September and eastbound in October? Eastbound have more in the most recent data. It was basically like 3,100 and some change versus 3,800, I think. 3,800.
So eastbound, it was at
Versus school.
621 for that first week. And then $855. So it was kind of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no,
No,
sorry.
that's.
Sorry. This is September. This is October.
So they both went down.
They both went down. Not quite as much going eastbound, it looks like, as compared to westbound.
Well, at this point, I don't know what we could or couldn't do on it. There weren't as many egregious speeders in the October data. But volume wise, it's very high. So I would probably ask them to consider or have a discussion about if it would be reasonable to consider making it a three-way stop rather just the Granite into Southwest Third stop.
Oh, I see.
Just based on volume, because usually we can't do anything with stop signs because the volume isn't equal. We know Granite is way under.
Yeah.
8,000 cars a day, 7,000, and some change. So maybe that's something to entertain. And as Clint pointed out, just having a field trip and look at kind of like the overall situation could be valuable. But since speed bumps are not really an option, the feedback I've heard from people in the neighborhood is that they would rather it was a three-way stop than leaving it as is.
So
You
turn,
can't- By the time you get some speed, you're gonna need a stop sign, so even though you get to hear more people in their loud vehicles as they stop and go, at least people aren't going through it 50 miles an hour. But you have those reckless people going through.
I agree. I will preface that with though, if they are not equally traveled, I think we all understand that that is primarily a way that a lot of high schoolers would drive to get to school. And if they drive that route every day and there's only once that they're come to that stop sign and somebody else is there, they're not gonna be paying attention. And it's not just to Dogwood High School students, it could be anybody, but if there's not that equal flow of traffic, that's when you will start to see an increase in traffic collisions because people are so used to just doing the roll through stops or not stopping.
So you're thinking that the people who are primarily going in one direction?
Well, if you're trying to take Third and Grant, that intersection, turn it into a three-way stop, if there's not an equal flow of traffic off of Grant that there is on Third, and you're trying to use stop signs as a traffic calming device, you're going to see an increase in traffic crashes.
Because they're not used to the stop signs being there.
It's just becomes habit of people don't follow the rules of the stop sign because I stop here every day and I've never seen anyone else coming this way. So then you just get complacent and you start rolling through and going.
I don't know that it's like nobody's coming on.
No, and I'm not saying that nobody,
Yeah.
you know, that's where that hard line of ensuring that there is equal flow of traffic or other criteria before we can.
So when there's an existing stop sign, it's something that happens to be lower, that goes on to a much busier street, then we don't put in stop signs to keep the people from the much busier street from running into whatever.
So your major road compared to a minor road, you don't stop the major road to let the minor road on with stop signs.
Plus, then now you've got another intersection that the cops have to be at because neighbors are gonna say they're rolling the stop signs, rather than raging, they're gonna leave the stop signs. And so now you have another area of enforcement that the police have to be called upon eventually 20, 30 years down the road.
All right, well, I'm just concerned that we have a quote unquote safe route to school. It's preliminary, but it's not ever gonna be any other option
Right.
that we've got.
And I'm not,
7,500 plus on a slow day week
And-
of cars going down. That seems like.
and Jenny, I'm not trying to shut you down.
No, I
on-
agree. I agree.
I do think that there is something that needs to be done with this second, third area in between Ivy and Elm. That's always been, when we call it the Narrows for a reason. I think that it needs addressed. It's just what is the right thing that's going to address it.
Yeah,
That's what I want to make sure that we do.
and my concern is just being able to go back to people and let them know that we are actually taking it seriously or doing
Yeah.
something, because we're like 3 months in at this point. When we had some kid jump the curb and almost hit somebody because they were in a hurry. And so, I mean, and there are a lot of people doing other reckless things too, and it's not like every car. It's never
Right.
every car.
No,
It's
it's
just
not. It's
enough
that.
recklessness to make it concerning for
Yes.
the volume of people.
No, and I,
So.
And I just need clarification, Tracy, for in our wheelhouse. We're making recommendations for one-way streets and stuff like this. Planning or other departments or bikes or something like that, is that in their wheelhouses to do also, or are
If you had
we?
proposed one-way streets, that would involve planning department.
Yeah, so I mean, in theory,
Potentially.
in theory, if we're concerned about the narrows, we need to be fixed and wanting one-way streets, it's outside our wheelhouse. You,
You can recommend that planning look at that.
okay,
If we wanted one-way streets. Since it's such
Because it
a,
is a traffic safety issue, being, I don't know how often you travel in your house, but I avoid them. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, they're already kind of one way. You're playing chicken with somebody, so you guys get over in the parking lane, and then get back out, so they're kind of,
What if we
you
were
know,
to do
by
that?
default one way anyway.
What if we were to recommend that the planning department take a look at this? So just, it seems like a
I
value.
don't know if this would be 100%. I think this might be in conjunction with, we would. But yeah, I know in the past we've talked about trying to eliminate parking to widen out the street, but then it always becomes, nobody has a place to park because they, I mean, and that is a huge concern.
so over time,
Yes,
trying to put more housing there and then.
yeah. So I'm not a big fan of taking away parking. So if,
And I don't know where those cars would go.
I don't know where they would
There's
go.
cars on both sides, so
Yeah.
where are you gonna put them, because
well, in a lot of those houses,
one car driveways.
a lot of those houses don't even have driveways.
Right.
They only have on-street parking, so.
So, yeah, it's.
or we don't do that.
I mean, I guess,
Yeah, we gotta get.
our next step is. You want me to schedule a field trip, we have a discussion? Like,
Yeah, I think that's a good
we
place
have
to start.
location, we know that there's a high volume of vehicles. Questionable if we could put in a stop sign, a one-way street generally has been not looked at as our best solution either, so we need something else. We're going to.
I would suggest that, yeah, you put together an email and you can come out there and take a look and we can list all of your problems and look at all the possible solutions and then talk about it next time.
All right. And then we'll take that.
Agree. Okay, any other past issues? Hearing none, we'll move forward to, staff reports. Adrian?
Yeah, I sent the stats out yesterday. The,
Right about next month.
October, I had it recruit with me all month and then into November, so wasn't able to go out and work traffic at all last month. I was training somebody. We have 2 guys in training right now. One guy is a lateral officer from Salem PD. He's local to Canby. He graduated from Canby High School. Worked for Salem PD for just over a year, and then he's back home working for us. We have a recruit that's in phase 3 of training, out of phase 5, so he's moving along. Next weekend, so the weekend before Thanksgiving, we are partnering with state police and a lot of other agencies in the metro area for a saturation detail, focusing on the fatal 5, so distracted driving, DUI, speeding, lane violations. There'll be several agencies just saturating the metro area all weekend, so Friday through Sunday that weekend.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do the local restaurants that serve, alcohol, do they work pretty closely with Uber and Lyft, I mean, it seems like that would be a good thing for them to be very plugged into. given the
I'm
holidays.
not exactly sure. I know that I don't think it's as easy to get an Uber, Lyft, or a rideshare in Canby than it would be the farther north you go. But I'm not sure if bartenders or bartenders are like encouraging people to do that or not.
Okay.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
Seriously, that's a great idea.
I mean, yeah.
That's simple. Well, your friend's not with you and also squash.
You're talking to drive.
So unfortunately, your DUI case didn't go today.
No, it got reset. Yeah.
Can I ask you one quick question?
Millionth time.
Sorry. to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries.
I was going home for lunch one day, this was a number of weeks ago, and I noticed there was a bunch of police cars right there at the Key Bank, and I was wondering if you could touch on what happened there. There was person on the bench in the cuffs look like?
There was somebody in the bank that was no longer wanted in the bank by bank staff and was causing a really big scene, and the bank staff was worried that she was potentially gonna do something that would get her in trouble, and so they wanted her trespassed, and so we went and
Good job on that. That was
got
awesome.
her out of there and trespassed her.
Thank you.
May I ask a question, just in general?
Yeah.
So what kinds of things would have a DUI case rescheduled?
Quite a bit of stuff. Defense a lot of times needs more preparation, they're not ready. A lot of times the prosecution has the same issues. This case is from 2022. And so I just had a trial not too long ago on a 2021 case.
So basically, people just kind of kick it down the road as long as they can.
There's a lot of court cases, so in this one today, we were third in line. Our trial was third in line behind 2 other cases. And so if those 2 other cases didn't go, we might have gone, but.
It was already a maybe.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just so backed up.
Does that happen at Clackamas County Courthouse, or that's not a
Yeah.
local thing?
We just started our local charging crimes into Canby Municipal Court again, so that started November 1st.
Okay.
So it'll be a little while before we start seeing,
So you hadn't been seeing them in Canby for a while?
not since, I believe it was 2021 area, it's just when we went away from it, and then it was July of 21, so we started it back up in November. So between that time, every case was going to the circuit.
And where does the judge come from for that? For you local?
Yeah, so it's at the city hall, right there at the council chambers, it's where our courthouse is, and it's our municipal court judge that's gonna be handling those cases, and then our city attorney as well.
And they can hear everything there, or just up to kind of a certain level of severity and then you get kicked?
So all of the misdemeanor crimes go to municipal court, excluding domestic violence and excluding any drug possession stuff, that all goes to circuit court, but anything else outside of that, we're charging into municipal court, as long as it's happening within the city.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Yep.
You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, Rebecca and AJ, I have one request. Exactly what I knew would happen as predicted is happening. Now that Redwood is nice and smooth, it's a racetrack.
Yeah.
And I know exactly where you can park. There's says no trucks, there's a fence. I'm sure the lady would let you park in front of her fence. It's right across from 14th Place.
Yeah, I believe I can actually say from experience, I was coaching Officer Parker, and it was a couple weeks ago. We were driving south on Redwood, and we had somebody doing 48. Stopped him, promptly issued them a citation for speeding. So I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, trying to be
My
not
first day,
14th Place. I'm like, geez, you guys.
Monday was my first day back in the car by myself. And I've just been getting caught up in the office for the last couple of days. So once I can get back out and do that, I think 10th is on my list now, and as well.
And is Highway 99, since they do was finished, does that speed it up?
Just from driving the last couple of days by myself, I've noticed there's been quite a few in the 50s. Which I anticipated with not being speed bumps on 99 anymore with potholes, so.
Not so much road rage, though, I don't feel like on 99 anymore, because not like zipper.
Thank you very much.
For Public Works side, that was gonna be my big thing, was that I'm almost have plans for 10th and excited for 10th, but I don't know. I've got time right now. Is we do currently have Monday through Friday here, so if you wanted to put that onto your traffic safety group, they can, if anyone has leaves at their house that they want to get rid of,
Don't blow into the road.
don't blow them into the road preferably. But if you want any time Monday through Friday, if you call, or call, but if we ask that you call Rhonda and let her know that you're coming down. But we have the slot down here for all the leaves to be dropped off.
Is that just regular business hours?
Regular business hours, yeah. Yeah.
They kind of want you to call around and make an appointment so that she can make sure you actually live in the city.
I don't know, we've never actually asked
That's
that.
what I hear.
But yeah, the only thing we ask is that if you bring them to, bring the paper bags that you can get from like Hades or Wilco or
So
something.
don't bring them loose.
You can bring them loose too. No, loose is fine too, just not in a plastic container. But yeah, spread the word that if anyone needs to, they can come and drop their leaves off down here.
And how long is that expected?
We'll probably go until middle of December-ish, which basically what it kind of turns into is once the majority of the leaves have fallen off the trees and we're not in what we call leaf season for our sweepers, that's kind of when we'll kind of wind that down. But there is such a huge influx of leaves during these 2 months that we try to run 2 sweepers if they can both stay on the road long enough. But yeah, that's
What
awesome.
makes them go off?
Yeah, thanks so much.
The mechanical issues?
mechanical issues, yeah. The sweepers are very cool pieces of equipment, but at the same time, I hate them because there's so many moving parts and they just kind of rattle themselves to death quickly. Yeah, a lot of electronics and everything else, so it's like every other week that they're in the shop, and that's just a normal thing for sweepers.
I was curious with a leaf sweeper, we had like this massive bird that like got hit by a car in our street a couple of weeks ago, and I was at first worried it was my neighbor's cat because it was that big and fluffy looking, but thankfully it was just this massive bird. They got swept to the side after it got hit by somebody else's car, and now it's kind of buried under the leaves. I don't, and so I was wondering, what happens when the leaf sweeper picks up something that's not leaves? Should I like, need to have somebody do something? Sure, it's still there. It's a weird situation, I know, but I was kind of worried that.
Are you
like,
going?
nobody-
There it is.
I am.
Okay, I might have somebody run out there.
Maybe it's a good bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're-
seriously, it was really wild.
Squirrels. That's a big thing. But squirrels don't do damage, but we have had other things be damaged. So small animals don't. That's- Yeah.
Birds.
Very nice.
Oh, goodness.
Brianna, you're next. How you doing?
Hey everyone, I don't have any big updates. I can answer questions though.
Well, the big question the kids are asking is when's Chipotle?
November 25th.
Yeah.
Are there any new projects coming online that you can talk about?
Nothing I haven't mentioned before, I don't think. We're still working through the adult center, Canby Transit Operations Center. Those are both still kind of in the early stages though.
Grocery outlet, is it still kind of plugging along?
I'm not sure what's happening with that. I think they're on a pause trying to figure out something on their end.
They don't have
Yeah.
a recipe for it.
Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah, of course.
And the Oregon Liquor Distribution Center. The Oregon Liquor.
Or LCC.
The OLCC Distribution Center.
Uh-huh.
We heard.
That is going to PC on December 9th, and the materials are actually up on our website right now. An email will go out for commissioners before that meeting. But yeah, that's ready to be reviewed at PC in December.
Hearing no other questions, go to Tracy.
I try to think, how do we? Election brain is finally winding down. First Friday of December is tree lighting. Everybody come down for that? And Eric's doing first Thursday also. I thought maybe we were gonna scoot it to Fridays, I had got Jamie confirmed we're doing it both, so the Thursday night market will be open, and then the first 6 o'clock is parade, and then tree lighting on Friday. I don't think we have anything else, unless you have questions.
Are you still in the, still have kind of a temporary city attorney? Is that gonna stay the way? that way?
No, we've hired Barry Olson and Hammond LLC for our attorney services. We're gonna stay with contracted services from in-house.
Okay, super. And
We
then,
still have the defender, you see, but we all the other city attorney services doing through that firm. They've done a great job for us and we're half the money. And they're awesome.
Super, thanks for everything you guys do and gals do for us.
And it's a parade. The parade.
The Christmas parade, 6 o'clock on Friday. What was that, the 7th?
That's,
6th, thank you. The first Friday in December.
Thanks. We like parades.
I think it's 6.
No.
yeah, it was 6.
Okay,
That's when the tree
It
will
is
get
at
lit up.
6.
Tree gets lit up at the end of the parade when Santa arrives at the end of the parade.
Super, thank you.
Rick, busy putting all the lights up on that.
He didn't go out today to do it just for,
Didn't want to get blown off the ladder.
didn't want to get blown off, but they did start, they started last week with, some of the stuff on First Avenues for the
Yeah, I saw the video
sequoias.
of that, yeah.
And so it'll be plugging away at that for the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, guys.
And on a
You guys done a
drive-in,
great job.
there was like a dozen guys who were trying to deal with like the incredible amount of leaves
Yeah,
in the rain. I'm like, oh, you guys, it's
Yeah,
not
that-
fun day for you.
he said that he wasn't gonna try and put any lights on today because of how many leaves came down the last 2 days. He's like, I get it.
Yeah, I can mention that. So,
So we're gonna move into board members. Deanna?
Okay, it's been like 3 weeks ago, there was a bad accident on 99 and Bird Parkway. And,
God, it's tough. That one.
yeah, and, I was heading to work and I was kind of surprised that, how it all kind of entailed, but there were people outside and stuff, but it sounds like the yield light was not a good thing because somebody thought that they could just go and they caused a big uproar. And it caused backup on, like, we were back to the ball fields, trying to get out, not knowing what was going on. So just, trying to see if there's, just wanna alert people if they didn't know about that.
When you say yield light, the optional turn, like a
Yeah.
left turn?
Yep, somebody thought that they could go
Like
in
they
front
let
of
go?
somebody and cause an uproar. And that was the worst one that I've seen when I'm going to work. Normally my drive is smooth. I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, oh, that's not good. The police department was on scene, but it was just confusing where we both had to kind of use the same lane. So we're trying to get around the cop and it was dark in the morning. So it was just kind of interesting scenario, but I was thankful for all the communication afterwards, because like once I got to work, it was nice to know that, okay, it was all turned up.
And Gary's not here. so-
See if I can touch on him. I talked to Gary and he took a trip over to Silverton. And next meeting, he wasn't able to be here today, but he was gonna touch on how they deal with their truck route in Silverton. It is kind of interesting. You have a little downtown, but yet you can kind of bypass the downtown. He's gonna talk about some of their signage and stuff. Wanted to let you know.
And well, then do you have anything?
Just that I'm gonna get my group, I'm gonna get out those emails this week and I guess I'll ask one question. If there was decent Uber and Lyft coverage, wouldn't that be a good social media post to encourage folks over the holidays to, if they're gonna go out and have fun, to keep in mind that they can get a local Lyft or Uber person?
Yeah, we do that on our police page usually,
Okay.
encouraging people to use rideshare stuff.
Oh.
Might be interesting if there was a post, I don't know if you can do like a survey on Facebook maybe that says, are you a Uber or Lyft driver in Canby, and just kind of see if there's, take a poll and see how many there are. Because
To
then,
ask a question.
then we would know whether or not there's that availability, and then we can maybe share that.
Yeah, I think
You guys to go down.
Yeah, I think Uber and Lyft isn't, the people that live here that are doing Uber Lyft probably aren't doing it primarily in Canby, because
Right.
they're gonna get more of their work.
Yeah.
The farther north you go, a lot of the bars up in the metro area, and so, you know, we need somebody, I've heard from friends that they tried to get one and it's like an hour. And so they just get impatient.
Yeah, I'm a little removed from my bartending days, other than freelancing. But when I was managing the Legion Lounge, there was a guy in town, it was a designated driver that we could follow. He lived here in town, and that's what he did, was come pick up people. Do you know if
He drives the
doing that?
450.
I don't know if he's doing it.
Yeah,
Is he
that's
still doing it though?
I see him driving around. I'm not sure if he does it anymore. I know he
Okay.
used to do that at Denny's.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I'm thinking of. Is
Yeah, a nice place, and then, of course, I had his number if I had a Legion, and they
I
always
remember
needed a
I said-
ride. Yeah, I would usually make the decision for David, sit down, you get a ride. But yes, I don't know if he was still doing that, but that's something that maybe the bartenders around town.
I don't think he's doing as much as he used to, if he still is. I used to see him all the time.
Yeah.
I don't work nights anymore, so. That's probably why I don't see him as much.
Yeah, nice, no, but, yeah, I was just curious if you knew if he was still doing that, so it'd be, I just gotta be tired of it, I was doing it for years, but.
If somebody has like a connection to a local church that does some kind of like community outreach or support, maybe we could, they might be willing to get some people together for some of the major holidays. Like Thanksgiving is a big one, right? I mean, seems like a lot.
Thanksgiving, Christmas,
So, I
actually
mean,
Thanksgiving through New Year's.
yeah, I mean, I might not be able to do all the time thing, but there might be some talk to that way. I don't know of any groups come to mind, but just,
It takes a special time to drink the drum call.
Jennifer, do you have anything?
Well, I am still concerned about the, not quite four-way stop intersection outside of Canby Square. So, right over where the Vietnam Memorial is, where Fourth runs into that weird on and off of 99, and then also like the little, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Clearly, you know what I'm talking about. It's just right there. The official
Intersection.
Yes, the Canby Square intersection. Now the Marshalls is open. You've got even more people who are going over there because they're excited about the new store. And maybe they're even less familiar with the etiquette of our poorly kind of wonky intersection. So I have seen from all angles just the utter confusion of people like, when do I stop? When can I go? Like, am I paying attention at all? Some people are not paying attention at all. And they think if they've stopped at Canby Square looking toward 99, that if they've stopped there, then they can keep going. The people who are coming on that little Southwest Fourth branch on the left-hand side there, or if you're actually stopped on Fourth, you're usually stopped and kind of watching to see what the heck people are doing. Is someone trying to turn off of 99 onto Fourth? Because I guess we call it Fourth on all three angles there, which is also more confusing than it needs to be. But yeah, it's when you are waiting for it to be clear. Let's say you're on the east or the west side of Southwest Fourth. Yeah, people coming off of 99, they're usually waiting for a clear spot. And when they get it, they go. And they punch it fairly hard. And they're expecting they've got a clear one for them. And depending on the.
You should probably be a right turn only, right?
Yes. I would like that, if you could only.
Because you can go left if you were to go out the other driveway, go to the light.
Yeah, so it might be, that was my suggestion a while ago, and I would stand by that. But maybe if you could only go out to 99, but you can't come in from 99, would be a way to mitigate that a little bit, make it less crazy. But my concerns remain and are recently increased based on the new traffic. That's all I got.
Jackie?
I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Jen?
Just with all of this talk about drivers and this popped into my head. I think it would be interesting to have like the police department maybe do something at the high school, an assembly on traffic safety. Because we know kids take driver's ed, but not everybody takes driver's ed. And if there was some sort of conversation about, those intersections like you're talking about over on where there's not a light that designates you to turn left, you're, having to make that decision, or what the consequences are of the speeding or the cell phone. Like, what does a ticket look like? And what does that do to your insurance or your parents' insurance? It might be a great education for our high school students to have something like that.
Yeah, I was in contact with the instructor, or the teacher for driver's ed, and I was supposed to come do a class with the kids at some point, but that was just for driver's ed.
Yeah, but I
haven't
think,
asked about it in a second.
I mean,
I know,
yes, some kids don't ever take driver's ed. It's expensive and it's, you know, scheduling wise with kids' sports and stuff, I know it's hard to get a plan together to get your kids through it, but I just think that it would be really something that.
historically, Oregon Impact used to do, I know they still do them for some schools. I know there's a couple schools in Oregon that did it recently where they do like a mock crash scene, and it's in an assembly, and they have like the first responders come and they're taking somebody out of the car that's deceased or going onto the life flight, and they literally have life flight land. And then they'll do the whole thing in front of the kids, and it's like an impact
It's
thing.
usually at the end of the school year.
Yeah, so I haven't heard of them doing that in years here,
Yeah.
but,
Just a thought.
A valuable point of having kids not who are going through, or drivers ed learning some of the basics too is, I mean, once you've got your license and you're allowed to have your friends in the car, the friends are gonna be in the car too. So like, it doesn't hurt to have that awareness of the passenger, so they're not just completely like in their own little world, talking to the teenage driver next to them and distracting them, like maybe they've got a little bit more awareness. So, I like the idea.
Okay, well, meeting is agenda at 10:02.
Awesome.
Wow, that's very considering everything. Sorry, I'm alone.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.